Greetings, Buckmagick here. I'm just going for a walk with my dog today. Some time ago, I had mentioned that I would give my story about the magic of the buck, with which Buckmagick products and Buckmagick card of the day are named after. So anyways, here we go. So it was about 10 years ago, and without warning, really, my life changed pretty drastically. I had 2 young kids at the time. They were probably around 7 and 10. And I was left to care for them and my home and the bills and everything that came with raising children by myself. And I really didn't know what I was doing. Luckily, I have a career. So adding a couple of new jobs to the daily schedule was helping to see us through. But really, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was really scared. And it had been, a few years that I had started learning a little bit more about the metaphysical, and had a very dear friend who we've recently lost, who mentored me through that time period. Anyway, one day, and it was summertime, I took my kids out for a pizza. And when we were coming home, it was around 7 or so, maybe 7:30, and we were going up my driveway. And I live in a rural location, as you could see. I'm basically walking through my yard and the surrounding area right now. But I noticed a buck sitting on my lawn, fairly close to the driveway where the house is. I see deer all the time where I live, but seldom do I see a buck, especially one as big as this one. And the pictures of the buck on my Instagram and my YouTube channel are pictures of that exact buck. So he was pretty big. Anyway, my older son, who was in the front seat at the time, made mention about this buck, and he said, "Oh, wow, look at that." And I agreed, very beautiful, and thought for sure it was going to run off as I pulled up to the driveway. So I pull up to the driveway, and it stands up, but it doesn't run away. And as I got closer, I'm looking at him, and I realized this buck was looking right at me. It wasn't looking at the car or the moving wheels, or the hood where the noise was coming out. It was looking at me. So I park the car. He stands up and he walks toward the vehicle. So I motioned to my kids to stay in the car. I didn't know if there was something wrong with them or whatever, because certainly he was acting a whole lot differently than a deer would. So he starts to slowly walk toward the car, and he's only about 6 or 7 feet away. He walks till he's about 3 feet away, and then I open the door, I take 1 foot out, assume he's going to run away. This is my favorite tree. I assume he's going to run away, and he doesn't. He steps closer. So I take a 2nd foot out of the car, and he walks again closer. So I'm standing outside the car, I close the door, and he walks right up to me. I could count the hairs on his beautiful nose. at this point, and he's just looking at me, and his head is kind of going up and down, almost as if to say, everything's okay, it's going to be okay. That's what I was hearing. It was such a peaceful moment. And at that point, my older son did get out of the car, walked around the side, and the two of us were standing right next to this buck, this gorgeous, amazing buck. He was close enough to reach out and touch. And he put his head down, turned slowly, and started walking toward the backyard. And we were just amazed. What was that? Oh my gosh. And we followed him to the backyard. And he was up on a hill in my yard. And the pictures that you see, those are the ones I took of him. And I just continued on, my journey of trying to raise my family. And I spoke with my friend about it, who I told you who's recently passed, and she was so excited and felt that it was certainly a sign, a strong sign, that everything was going to be okay. And if you research Ceratinos, you'll know a little bit about more of what I'm talking about. But it was a really magical moment. It was a time period from that moment on, though I still didn't know what I was doing. Hell, I still don't know what I'm doing half the time. But at least it gave me a better feeling of moving forward and making decisions and being a single parent all of a sudden. So that's the story of the buck. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Blessings.